Alright. Welcome to the L video del Kingambit, where we go through some competitive sets and templates for Kingambit that you can kind of copy and paste on your teams, and then you can kind of adjust as you want to depending on your team needs. Kingambit's major advantages are based around his defensive typing of Dark Steel, as well as his amazing 135 base attack stats, and access to Priority Sucker Punch, and as well as having a couple really nice abilities. So the first couple sets, or first few sets, are more of the more viable, and I would say like bread and butter sets. And then you have your more niche sets into something that's usable in doubles as well. Our first set is maybe the best set for Kingambit. We have the leftovers with the added bulk on HP with a little bit of speed. We have the sword stance for maximum damage, and kowtow cleave, I think that's how you say it, which is a move that does not check accuracy, dark type stab, and base power of 85, which is extremely strong. We have the Priority Sucker Punch, which I think there's not a single set that I have on here that doesn't utilize Sucker Punch, because he kind of needs it because of just how low Kingambit's speed is, and then the Iron Head Stab as well. Now, since we're running leftovers with HP investment, I wanted to run a defensive Terra type of Terra Ghost, because Kingambit's main drawback is his 4x weakness to steel. So any sort of steel coverage, you're kind of screwed. So we want to kind of deal with that the best we can. So since this is a bit more defensive, I'm running the Ghost type Terra. And since Kingambit is already Dark type, it's unlikely that he'll be hit with a Ghost type or a subsequent Dark type move, because he already naturally resists both of those. So it's unlikely those are coming into a Terra type Ghost Kingambit, so that's why that's the defensive option. Next set, we have a bit more offensive based set with Life Orb Sword Stance with the same sort of moves that we're running, but we have maximum EVs in speed, just to try and outspeed as many Pokemon as we possibly can without being jolly, because again, ignoring this attack stat I think is just not very smart, and so I think that we want to run Adamant and max EVs. Not that you can't run defensive, that's something that you could do, but utilizing this 135 attack and Priority Sucker Punch with Stab, with Life Orb, I think it's so hard to just ignore that, and I think that's really most likely just the best way to use Kingambit overall. Now you can do whatever kind of sets you want, and we'll have a couple defensive based sets that I have as well, that you can run, but again, utilizing this attack stat is epic. Now, the main ability here is the Supreme Overlord, and it's the same ability on this set as well, and on a couple of the other sets that we're going to go through. Now, Supreme Overlord gives you a 10% boost on mainly your attack per fainted teammate, and so Kingambit can come in mid-game or late game and just get an extra boost. Just from its ability. It's up to a 50% boost if all 5 of your teammates are taken out. The reason why this is not as good in VGC is because you only get the 30% boost with 3 teammates taken out of 4, and with Kingambit alone, it's not going to be nearly as effective. So Supreme Overlord is mostly a singles ability, but I think this is quite a viable set as well. Less defensive, we're taking Life Orb damage, doesn't utilize a defensive typing as well as this set, but you're just maximizing your damage output in comparison. So this is a more bulky set that opts for Defiant versus Supreme Overlord, utilizing our defensive typing, like I said, with the Assault Vest. Now in this case we have Kowtow Cleave, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Bread and Butter, but we have the Terra Blast Fairy typing. Now this is to hit certain Pokemon that would destroy Assault Vest Kingambit, namely Dragon types like Earthquake, Dragonites, Garchomp can just toss out an Earthquake, and Kingambit's likely going to be either one-shot or very easily 2-hit KO'd, and Sucker Punch could do some good damage, but at the same time, Kingambit's just gonna get really, really hurt. And on Garchomp, I think Rough Skin plus Earthquake would just be enough to KO it anyway. So it's a rough matchup for him. But the Fairy Terra will make it into a neutral hit to survive the hit, and then subsequently KO immediately with the Fairy type Terra Blast. Now you can do whatever Terra type you want. You can make a Ghost type, you could make it Flying type, you can make it Water type. That's kind of up to you. But I like to have the Terra Blast option here. If you want to put something else, if you really want to put Stone Edge, you can, based off of what your team needs. And that's kind of the thing I want to talk about with these sets, is this is just these are template sets, and you can change these depending on how you want to run your Kingambit. So I would copy and paste a set like this, or maybe from another site, or another video, and then change it from there depending on what your team needs. Alright, next one, we have actually really kind of a cool idea, I think. Sorry, I'm still sick. We have the Retaliate Kingambit. Now, the reason why I think this is cool is, so remember a Supreme Overlord, right? You get a 10% boost of your attack per fainted teammate. Well, Retaliate works on the subsequent turn of an ally fainting. So think about that for a second. So Retaliate 70 base power. If the power doubles if the ally fainted last turn, so you bring it out after an ally faints, it's now 140 base power. You immediately also get a 10% attack boost. If this happens twice, you get 20%, 3 times 30%, 4 times 40%, right? And so each time you come out with a Retaliate Kingambit, you're going to be doing more and more damage each time. With 140 base power, and we have the normal Terra type to make it Stab Retaliate. So it's going to be doing a ton of damage mixed up with Supreme Overlord, which I think is a really powerful revenge KO'er. Or you still have the Sucker Punch option. That's something that you can do too. And then Kowtow Cleave, because it's just really strong. And then in this option we have the Chople Berry. You can change this to Silk Scarf if you want. You can change it to Life Orb. You can change it to Focus Sash. There's a number of options for this set, but I decided to run the Chople Berry because if the opponent has an option to hit Kingambit with a fighting type move, they're gonna take that. They're gonna take that option. And then if you normal type Terra, you are still weak to fighting, although it is only 2 times weak. So Chople Berry helps out defensively if you don't Terra and if you do Terra. So that's why we have the Chople Berry in this set. But you can run a different item if you want to. Protect is here to scout up for a subsequent Choice Scarf or Choice Banded move that the opponent might want to go for, kind of as a reverse revenge KO. And so in an instance where your ally faints, you KO them with Retaliate, and then they bring someone in with a Choice Band, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, or just a Garchomp, and you want to Protect just to see what they're going to go for. That's also an option as well. It's very effective against Choice Scarf and or any Choice users, specifically because you can see what they're going to lock themselves into, and then you can make a choice after the fact. So I think Protect is actually a great option on this set as well. Again, you can run something else if you'd like to, but I like the idea of having Protect on this set. Now we're getting into the more of the double sets, and we're going to have Protect on every set for these 3 double sets that I have here, because Kingambit's very threatening, and it's likely that the opponent's going to want to try and KO it early, just to keep it from Swords Dancing or just getting out free damage. And so Protect is here to have that option to literally, protect yourself. Now, the ability here is Defiant, again, because we already talked about how Supreme Overlord is not as useful in doubles because you're not really getting your big boosts that you want to from your 5 fainted Pokemon. And so we're running Defiant here, which can really be detrimental to Intimidators, or Pokemon that want to reduce your speed, or maybe they get a really lucky Defense Drop or something. Then Defiant can come into play there. And here we have the Lumberry, and Lumberry and Protect actually has some nice synergy as well as with Sucker Punch. And so let's say you Sucker Punch, but the opponent Will-O-Wisps, and so your Sucker Punch doesn't go off. If you didn't have Lumberry, you'd kind of be screwed. Now your Kingambit is at half of its potential attack, and they didn't take any damage kind of for free, right? So that's not great. And so if you do happen to whiff a Sucker Punch, Lumberry is great to counteract the Will-O-Wisps, your Thunder Waves, your Spore, to kind of help mitigate that risk. Also, Protect is there to help scout out. Maybe you don't know what they're going to go for. Maybe they're going to actually use an attack on you. Maybe they're going to prioritize the stats move. So you can Protect first, find out what they're going to use. Then let's say you think, oh, they're going to Will-O-Wisp again. You won't use Sucker Punch this time. You'll use Kowtow Cleave. Whether they're faster or not, Lumberry will activate and you'll get the full damage from 252 and Adamant on the base 135 attack. Again, super strong with the Kowtow Cleave. And they'll fail the Will-O-Wisp and you'll get the full damage off thanks to Lumberry. And same thing with like Thunder Wave, you won't risk any sort of paralysis, and you're not going to get your speed halved, which is more important for this set because we are running max speed on this one. And so I think Lumberry is not 100% needed, but I think it's extremely helpful in cases where the opponents have a really strong supporting Pokemon that can disrupt Kingambit quite early. Next set here is our full Dark type, all-out Black Glasses set. This is something that you can use in singles, but I think could also be very useful in doubles as well. Running Protect, Defiant, and going all out on the Dark typing. We have Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Kowtow Cleave, and Protect on this set. And so Sucker Punch, Kowtow Cleave are our only offensive moves. Dark type Terra with Black Glasses, with Defiant, just trying to do as much damage as possible. Neutral, not very effective, whatever. Just Sucker Punching, Kowtow Cleaving to our heart's content to just do as much as possible. In this one, I have some special defense investment because maybe there are a few attacks that you would want to survive from like a, I don't know, maybe some goofy fairy type Pokemon with certain types of coverage, you know, where they resist Sucker Punch, right? And so maybe they have some like, maybe they have fighting type coverage, and so you can Terra Dark to take 2 times damage instead of 4 times damage, and then thanks to the special defense investment, then you can survive the hit, or you can survive 2 hits, and then you can hit him with 2 Sucker Punches for a KO thanks to the Black Glasses Dark Terra type. So the special defense investment, I think, is potentially more important on this set than it is on speed. And our last set here for today is another double set with the kind of goofy idea with flying Terra type and Terra Blast. This is mainly to counter certain ground types like Garchomp, which is running around everywhere in VGC, as well as maybe synergizing with one of your own ground types so that you can freely Earthquake versus your opponents. This has a lot more HP investment with Leftovers and Protect. Leftovers for Protect also has a nice synergy where you can essentially guarantee in 2 turns, 1/8 of your health recovery instead of just 1/16 every turn. You can Protect and still get the Leftovers recovery. Again, running Defiant on this set, I think it's just a lot better in this case. And then again, bread and butter, Kowtow Cleave, Sucker Punch. I think it's so hard to like just not run these moves. I think these are 2 staples for Kingambits. Now, maybe there's an instance where you don't want to run Kowtow Cleave for something else, but the thing is, Kowtow Cleave is super strong, not just because it's 85 base power stab Dark type, but this move does not check accuracy. I think so far in the game, this is the strongest move in the game that doesn't check accuracy, which is kind of nuts. Like, not only is it 100% accurate, it will literally always hit without fail. That's something that just can't be overlooked. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and got a little bit of information on just how powerful Kingambit can be. There are other sets that you could run with this. Maybe you want to run like fully defensive or something, and make use of that steel typing, but with coverage like ground type, fire type, and fighting type. I think just utilizing that attack stat with Sucker Punch is really just the strongest way to use Kingambit. I'm not sure there's really any like leeway for that, and so there's not really as much leeway you have for Kingambit, in my opinion, in how you can really run it, because it kind of requires either Kowtow Cleave or Sucker Punch or both, which I think in all of my sets I have both, because that combo is just it's already just super strong, and I think that's just the best thing that Kingambit can do overall and just super consistent. And so running anything besides that is a bit of a detriment to you. So if you want to look at it that way, then you know you don't have as much variety as maybe you want to. But the way you run your stats, you can kind of run what you would like, honestly. I know I said that it's a waste to not run a lot of attack, but if you want to look at like certain hits that you want to survive, you can put a lot of your EVs in bulk. You have the choice on what you want to do with your item, if you want to do it defensively or offensively. Same thing with the Terra type. You can kind of run the Terra type either way. You can run it defensively, which is super advantageous, or you can run it offensively, which I think is maybe less advantageous for Kingambit than the defensive variant, but you can definitely get that extra damage if you want to run something like Life Orb like I have here on this set, or the Black Glasses going all out on the Kowtow Cleave and Sucker Punch, and so that is still definitely an option right there. So if you want to look at it that way, then Kingambit does have a lot of options on how you want to run it because of the item, Terra type, and the EV spread. And so I hope you gained something from this video, learned a little bit about how Kingambit works. I think I already said that, but I'll say it again. Love you guys. Peace.